And we are live again. I am going to go ahead. I continue to test here. That's the thing. Like I've got a ring light now just to see what that does with lighting and how that changes how the shows up on YouTube. It is Saturday. Time to simplify. Yesterday we talked about what do we eliminate, Elimination Friday. What do we get out? And as we go forward, how do we just simplify things? So today, from a cardio perspective, literally jumping rope, 90 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 90 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and doing that for just a little bit over 32 minutes. It was right around 32, 33 minutes. The simple stuff works. When we add in complexity, we add in other exercises, we increase risk. We increase risk that someone's going to injure themselves. We increase risk that something else might break, whatever that is. So this lines up with a post I made on LinkedIn a little bit earlier where I shared a couple of diagrams and I said, which one resonates with you a bit more? I've got a poll out there around a diagram around you're taking the simple versus complex in the context of paper airplane to a rocket ship, and simple versus complex in the context of a tricycle all the way up to a motorcycle. One of the things you'll hear me say, if you've had a chance to watch me speak publicly or at a workshop inside your organization, or you've watched enough of these videos, simple as possible, complex as necessary. Then the follow-up piece there is, how do we create complexity? Well, we add things to it. You think about that paper airplane. It's not very complex. You can add complexity by adding more folds, but you really only need a handful, 2 or 3 folds, excuse me, 3 folds, and you could get an airplane that will fly through the air. If you add more folds, it might fly a little bit further, and it might be a little bit more stable. A rocket ship, on the other hand, has a lot of other parts. And one of my favorite scenes in a movie, it comes from Armageddon, and it's when Steve Buscemi's character says, we're strapped to this rocket made of millions of parts with thousands of gallons of rocket fuel put together by the lowest bidder. Makes you wonder about that whole thing around you get what you pay for, and what happens in those competitive markets. My point, a lot of us want to have a business that operates like a rocket ship, but we've not figured out how to operate a paper airplane. Let's get back to the paper airplane and make sure that that works first. Let's make sure that works first and go from there. Same thing with the working out. A little simple jump rope. I'm going to travel this week, speaking out in Chicago, actually Naperville. I'm going to bring this jump rope. That's going to make sure that I've got some space to be able to go and do some cardio. So as you kick off this week, and as I shared with you last week, my week starts on Saturdays. As you kick off this week, look at the things that you're doing. Look at all the things that are out there. And are there pieces that have you created more complexity than necessary? Are you doing too many activities around a specific goal that really are not necessary? Are you just going through the motions relative to some of those things? If so, what if you were to reduce those things and do some of them, just fewer things, really, really well? How would that change the way that you interact with your customers? How would that change the way you interact with your family? How would that change the way you interact with members of your team? So do what you can to get out there and simplify. The thing that I'm going to do is really reduce the amount of things that I'm going to bring on this trip. One of those things I'm going to bring is this jump rope. If you know somebody who would enjoy these short podcasts, please share it with them. If you'd like the longer version where I interview folks, check out the Find My Catalyst podcast. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts. If you share it with someone, let me know. If you've got a question, add it into the comments and I'll start to answer some of those questions. If you missed the episode earlier this week, I got into simplifying comp plans this past week, simplifying comp plans. And if you're struggling with figuring out how to build a comp plan inside your organization, or you're even thinking about using a variable comp model in some of your consulting work as you go to market, take a look at that episode and hit me up with any questions. This week, the focus is going to be on application of simple tools to improve both problem solving and decision making. Problem solving and decision making. Hope you have an awesome week. And again, thanks for sharing this. Thanks for adding comments. Have a great one. Bye for now.